No, don't stop till you get enough.
And you haven't had enough?
No way. No way.
What's good, YouTube? This your boy Nick, and I'm back with another video, as you can see. And before we get started, if this is your first time on my channel, please make sure you hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click that bell so you'll be notified when I do make new videos. But I see y'all in the comment box, bruh. I see y'all. Trust me, I see y'all. Anyway, man, we about to get into why Michael Jackson fell out with the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? And hey, let's get straight to it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
An awards ceremony that hopes to honor the industry's most promising recording artists and showcase achievements made by those who have demonstrated excellence in their creative fields. Dating back to 1959, the coveted annual event has set the scene for countless career-defining moments and captured the world's greatest music stars at their most electric. None so iconic, however, as Michael Jackson holding arms full of trophies during the 26th Grammy Awards ceremony in 1984, when, at the height of Thriller mania, Jackson famously swept the show, winning a record 8 awards and garnering the largest television audience ever for the music event. Both records, even after nearly 40 years, stand unbroken. However, although Michael Jackson is a bona fide Grammy legend in memory, throughout his life, Jackson didn't always maintain a respectful connection with the institution as you would expect. In fact, his relationship with the Academy was very much love-hate, and frustrations built as he fought to be properly acknowledged, shaping his approach to awards ceremonies in general and what value he put on such accolades. Here's the detail. Michael Jackson got his first taste of the Grammys in 1975, when he attended the industry event as part of the Jackson 5. The tuxedo-clad brothers were thrilled with the nomination for Best R&B Group Vocal Performance for their track Dancing Machine. Previously, the group had their single ABC nominated in 1971 for Best Contemporary Vocal Performance by a Group, but the Motown brothers lost out on both occasions. As a child star, Michael Jackson grew up attending award ceremonies, witnessing his idols, as well as the day's biggest stars, pick up awards for their illustrious careers. Experiencing firsthand the buzz in the crowd, the anticipation, as well as the jubilation that followed a major victory. How artists can be celebrated and history be made for their creative feats. Although Michael's work with the Jacksons didn't secure a Grammy win, the artist had lofty ambitions for his first solo record as an adult, Off the Wall. With the help of Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson was able to showcase his creative freedom and individualism, developing a vivid style that was very much his own. The ambitious project proved to be critically and commercially successful. A major breakthrough, Jackson achieved 2 smash hit #1 singles, with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, as well as 2 other top 10 releases. Breaking records as the best-selling album from any black artist up until that point, Michael Jackson had high hopes for multiple award nominations to warrant his groundbreaking accomplishments. However, the artist was underwhelmed when he came to realize that he was nominated for just 2 awards, eventually winning Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for his hit, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Distraught, Jackson reportedly told his sister, quote, "You watch, I'll show them. I'll make it impossible for them to ignore me like that again." Released in November 1982, Michael's next musical output, Thriller, showcased a much more diverse, pop-driven sound with rock crossover hits like Beat It, and pop disco hits like the ominous Billie Jean. As each single premiered on MTV with an equally electrifying video and the Moonwalker wowing audiences with his sensational danceability, momentum for the album grew at an alarming rate as Michael Mania swept the nation. With Michael at #1 yet again, and the album fast becoming the best-selling album of all time, it was clear only one name was going to be sweeping every music awards show the following year. However, once it was announced that Michael Jackson had been nominated for an incredible 12 awards, his triumphant night was put into jeopardy after he suffered 2nd and 3rd-degree burns filming a Pepsi commercial just weeks before the ceremony. Quote, "Jackson may require reconstructive surgery, but we really can't determine that at this time. Stephen Hoffman, Michael's doctor, said at a press conference after the accident, adding that Jackson might still attend the Grammy Awards, quote, if he feels up to it. It was originally intended for the Glove singer to deliver another spellbinding performance, in hopes of recapturing the magic he displayed on Motown 25 the previous year. But Ken Ehrlich, producer of the telecast, said Jackson ultimately declined the invitation after his accident. Quote, he'll be in the audience. Hopefully he'll get some awards. Hopefully he'll have a good time. And that's it. Much anticipation grew as the event would mark Michael Jackson's first public appearance since his potentially disfiguring burns. The same commercial that Jackson's hair caught alight in during its filming was also due to premiere as Pepsi planned to play the segment during the award show's commercial break. Ironically, the infamous scene was filmed at the Shrine Auditorium, which also acted as the venue for the Grammy presentation that year. On February 28, 1984, Michael Jackson re-entered the building looking far more triumphant than which he left, dressing in his finest crystal-covered blue and gold military jacket with matching crystal glove. Michael appeared regal, as though ready to receive his crown on the most glorious of occasions. The excitement was palpable with every trophy. When accepting Album of the Year, he invited CBS Records president Walter Yetnikoff to the stage, who praised Michael as, quote, the man who has shown us the way in music, in youth, in song and dance, and dedicated his win to one of his idols, Jackie Wilson, who had passed away the month before. For his seventh trip to the stage for Best Vocal Performance Male, Michael dramatically removed his glasses, a promise to his friend, actress Katharine Hepburn, as he said with a smile, quote, for the girls in the balcony. His record-breaking 8th award for the Record of the Year, eclipsing singer-songwriter Paul Simon's 7 in 1970, saw Jackson enthusiastically embracing Quincy Jones and joyously spinning on the stage, becoming an all-time magic moment in Grammy history. Thanks to Jackson, the broadcast became the most-watched Grammy Awards ever, and, for a long time, the most-watched ceremony of any award category, only to be beaten out by Titanic's sweep of the Oscars in 1998. With over 51 million viewers, the event saw a 70% increase in viewership when compared to the previous year, as millions tuned in to watch Michael Jackson take his rightful place in pop history. Quote, we were all in a state, Michael later wrote in his 1988 memoir, Moonwalk. Quote, man, what a feeling. To work so hard on something, to give so much, and to succeed. I imagine that I felt like a long-distance runner must feel when breaking the tape at the finish line. I identify with that person because I know how hard he's trained, and I know how much that moment means to him. That's powerful stuff. Quote, we knew Michael was going to win everything. I mean, how could he not? Said guitarist Steve Lukather, who played on multiple Thriller tracks. Thriller engineer Bruce Sweden described the energy during the momentous night. Quote, it was very exciting. He recalled, there was a lot of professional envy that night. For an artist who had become so incredibly successful, both critically and commercially, it seems inevitable that Michael Jackson would experience backlash as Thriller mania wore thin. Characterizations of Jackson soon shifted from the dazzling performer and America's Peter Pan of pop to the corporate sellout, who cared more about greed and commerciality than mastering his art. Jackson increasingly becoming a tabloid target as his wealth and stature in the world of entertainment grew. By the time Michael Jackson was ready to release his much-anticipated follow-up Bad, after almost 5 years without any new music, much of the conversation focused on the contrived media hype, record sales, and Michael's appearance, rather than the music itself. Quote, as he begins his new quest for greater heights, he faces an enormous image problem, helped in part by media overkill, his shyness, feminine look, and sometimes eccentric behavior, as James McBride wrote in the Washington Post. With Michael Jackson out of the country for much of the album's initial release, touring Asia as part of the first leg of the Bad World Tour, the artist hoped to build the momentum he created with Thriller while touring the U.S. throughout 1988. As part of this endeavor, Jackson planned to return to the States and kick off his first solo nationwide tour immediately after attending the Grammy Awards. Michael received 4 award nominations, and although there was no chance of him sweeping the ceremony again, the categories he was nominated included Best Male Pop Vocal Performance and the coveted Album of the Year award. This time around, Jackson was in a far better state to perform during the show. A reminder for audiences to forget the nonsense in the press and showcase what the artist does best. With many predicting the singer would win several awards for Bad, Jackson channeled all his energies into an unforgettable performance in which he transformed his...
Wait, so you mean to tell me this is the same night that he didn't win nothing? Like, damn, I never knew that. I never knew that. But I didn't think it was this specific night. This show. Wow, because he gave a great performance. He gave a great performance, but then ended up taking home nothing. God.
Into a slinky jazz tune. This was followed by his brand new single, the intense and gospel-inspired Man in the Mirror. The last part being performed in near a cappella, showcasing the artist's raw and commanding presence as a world-class performer. After receiving floods of applause and a standing ovation from his contemporaries, Herb Alpert and Motown pal Diana Ross entered the stage to announce the winner of Album of the Year. With Diana Ross being chosen to present, one can presume that Michael had a pretty good chance of taking it home. Up against the likes of U2, Whitney Houston, and somewhat rival Prince, Jackson stood in the wings anxiously awaiting the result. A vibrant Diana opens the envelope impatiently, and immediately, an air of disappointment covers her face as she announces,
"The Album of the Year is the Joshua Tree, U2."
Michael Jackson then proceeded to sit in the audience as every other award nomination was read out, before ultimately leaving the ceremony empty-handed. Without an enthusiast acknowledgement for his latest album, the next night Jackson kicked off the American leg of his tour with 3 sold-out concerts at Madison Square Garden. Michael was incredibly hurt, and what made it worse was that the event's television ratings increased by over 20% from the previous year, meaning that the Academy were lining their pockets from Jackson's appearance, and in return, he was humiliated on national television. With fixed goals to outdo Thriller by selling 100 million records, Michael blamed the embarrassing incident for stunting sales of Bad, with evidence that esteemed awards can act as a linchpin for artists, as the positive publicity generated can build momentum, resulting in more radio plays, record sales, and ultimately, buzz around an album. By 1989, Michael Jackson was eager to ensure that he was sufficiently honored at any given award shows. However, the artist and his team were again horrified when they found out his Queen of Pop equivalent, Madonna, was awarded Artist of the Decade by MTV. A music channel he felt were forever indebted to him for the crucial impact he made on the music video format over the years. This led to negotiations, and MTV ultimately creating the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award in his honor. Jackson's team heavily pursued award shows, citing that Michael Jackson would simply not attend if he wasn't properly awarded and celebrated throughout any given ceremony. Knowing the prestige, media interest, and television viewers they would receive as a result of having a superstar of Michael Jackson's magnitude feature as part of their programming, many were more than happy to oblige. Throughout the coming years, Michael Jackson would be delighted by announcements that awards would be named after him, and receiving many accolades himself in grand ceremonies with elaborate video montages reminding attendees of his many career accomplishments. However, this sudden shift towards out-and-out admiration for Jackson didn't go unnoticed by the wider press, as in 1993, David Hinckley from the Daily News observed, quote, "It has never been any secret that Jackson loves awards, titles, and superlatives." Officials at MTV have several stories, all off the record, about Jackson's price for attendance. If an appropriate award did not exist, they would create a new one. It has been done. The entire Jackson presentation at the American Music Awards was as open a campaign for that King of Pop title as could be imagined, not only detailing his brilliant career, but inserting repeated references to record sales. In short and form, Michael is God with better Billboard numbers. A temptation even the esteemed Grammy Awards couldn't resist, as they were looking for a boost in viewership for their 1993 ceremony, after a dramatic slump in ratings the previous year. Having proven he could attract record-breaking levels of television viewership with his recent HBO concert special, Super Bowl halftime show, and live interview with Oprah Winfrey, the Academy was willing to pull out all the stops. Michael Jackson agreed to attend the show once again, this time to accept the illustrious Grammy Legend Award, with past winners including Barbra Streisand, Aretha Franklin, and Smokey Robinson. 9 years after their first Grammy date, Jackson reunited with his good friend Brooke Shields, as they arrived arm in arm, appearing publicly together for the first time in years. His younger sister, Janet, who also attended the awards with Michael in 1984, presided over a video tribute to her brother titled How to Become a Legend, which featured his humanitarian work, his childhood stardom with the Jackson 5, and his musical accomplishments as a solo artist. Sporting a white, heavily beaded jacket, black pants, and black gloves, Jackson had rehearsed a song to go along with the retrospective of his career, but decided to give a heartfelt speech instead, speaking for the first time after his revealing interview with Oprah Winfrey just a matter of days before. However, in years to come, Michael Jackson would rarely be seen at the Grammy Awards as the Academy grew tired of his mounting King of Pop demands. It was rumored that Jackson was to perform during the ceremony in 2002 to support his Invincible record, but the appearance was canceled, most likely due to issues the artist was having with his record label at the time. In 2006, stories circulated that Michael Jackson was going to formally appear at the ceremony once again, as part of his music comeback ahead of the release of the 25th anniversary edition of Thriller. Grammy bosses proposed nostalgic festivities, celebrating the trailblazing album that broke records in Grammy history some 20 years previously, records that had remained unbroken. However, the Academy withdrew the offer due to a string of demands the singer made regarding his appearance. According to the New York Post, Jackson insisted he be given a special award, that it be presented by a person of his choice, that the entire event be dedicated to his career, and that his status as King of Pop be mentioned at least 30 times during the show. However, after Michael Jackson's sudden demise in June 2009, the Grammy Awards sought to pay a fitting tribute to an artist who had left such an indelible mark on the music landscape and the Grammys themselves. The late pop icon was awarded a Lifetime Achievement accolade and honored with a 3D live and film number at the 2010 show. The King of Pop was heard performing his Earth song, accompanied by onstage stars as well as images from nature. A part of the clip was included in Jackson's movie documentary, This Is It, but the full production of Earth Song had not been seen before and was billed by the Grammys as the first time an award show had featured such a 3D sequence. Michael's children, Prince and Paris Jackson, accepted the Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of their father. Paris closed out with a brief, reserved message to her father. Quote, "Daddy was supposed to be here. Daddy was going to perform this year. He couldn't perform last year. Thank you. We love you, Daddy."
I never knew that was the same night of that performance he did at the Grammys, when he did Man in the Mirror and The Way You Make Me Feel. And then that same night he lost. He completely lost, like, all the nominations. You know, that was speechless, but he put on a hell of a performance, man. For real, he did. You know what I'm saying? But with the Grammys, like, the last time that I've watched the Grammys, actually, is when Chris Brown won his first Grammy. And that was a moment. That was a moment, too. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown winning his first Grammy. You know what I'm saying? That was a moment. But, yeah, I guess the Grammys was like, I felt like they got tired of Michael's demands and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. But then, like, at the end of the day, man, like, Michael's the king of everything. King of the Grammys, king of music, king of pop. You know what I'm saying? He killing this shit, man. And ain't nobody taking that from him. But anyway, man, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here because I don't want to do too much talking, you know what I'm saying? And if you guys like this video, man, don't forget to give me a like for the video, you know what I'm saying, before you leave. And don't forget to, you know what I'm saying, hit that bell so you can be notified when I do make new videos, you know what I'm saying? And don't forget to subscribe if you knew. But to my regulars, man, I'll see y'all in the next video, man. I've been your boy Nick. Peace.